Hello, good evening, friends of Hong Kong Library Associations. I'm Wilson, the president of the HKLA, and first of all, Happy New Year. For those who are not yet friends, we have Timothy here. Where is Timothy? So you can join HKLA now. You can pay now or you can pay later, while FPS or pay me. Or the old traditional way, bank slip, we still accept that, okay. We are honored to have Dr. KU and Jessica to deliver a sharing with us. Dr. KU is also our council member. I'm not sure if this is the first time that we have council members sharing their work in HKLA, but it was such a coincidence because he approached me last year that he said he wished to share the great work of COVID database in Hong Kong U. But if you recall, last year we were quite busy. We were talking about having 4 library visits in 8 weeks, including the one we went to Macau, plus an AGM. So I said, well, this is not a good time. But besides, we have an opening in the council. Are you interested to join? You know, then we can start talking. But this year, as I promised, we'll deliver his sharing as the first event of the 2024. This year, we planned to have more activities. We planned our activity early, and we also planned more activity this year. We have an official target to have activity every month. So in February, we have the Dr. KU sharing. Next month, we will go to Lingnan University. In April, we may go to Guangzhou. And then stay tuned. So, Yuk Min Hang Yu, join now. You know, Timothy is there. Okay? So, I know, for the speaker, I know Dr. KU very long, at least 16 or 18 years. Actually, for everyone who work in library system fields in Hong Kong, so somehow cross his pathway. And as far as I know, Dr. KU has a PhD degree in computer engineering. He worked in Hong Kong U for quite a long time, since the 90s. And I understand part of his doctoral work was LLM, large language model. And also another speaker, Jessica, I know her very long too. To be precise, 30 minutes from now. And she is professional she has a background in NLP and LLM too. For those who don't know what NLP or LLM, you are at the right place. So now I'm passing the mic to you. Let's give a big applause to Dr. KU.
Thank you very much.
First, you sorry. So here.佢都有份。
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, and Jessica.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Thank you very much for here. So just want to say hello to everyone. And I know Wilson for a long time, not because of librarianship meeting, but somewhere online. We joined the same forum for a long time. We share some ideas of nonsense there. Okay, let's start. Today we would like to present our project done last year. So the name is the COVID-19 Digital Archives for the Hong Kong U. The agenda for today should be the project outline. We have a walkthrough of the website so that you can understand what have been done. And we will share with you our methods and why and what we have achieved to this goal. And last but not least is about the AI challenge. Okay, so and the Q&A session. We promise you to be on time before 7:30, so that we have a lunch earlier. Okay, let's start with the project aims to collect and preserve and provide access to the digitally born records. Okay, not print, no print anymore. About the COVID-19 created by Hong Kong U. Okay, only Hong Kong U. A digital archive will be a central repository for all the Hong Kong produced materials, including scholarly articles, publication, data, media presentation, or AV formats, news article, whatever. Okay. So we will also include other activities Hong Kong U colleagues have achieved during the pandemic. And the project will try to cover all the outputs from all departments, faculties, not only researchers. Okay, for example, we also collect outputs from our sports centers because they taught the users, citizens, how to make good well-being during the pandemic. Okay, so this is very important for them. So the platform will be an access point to serve Hong Kong U, ULab, universities, and all citizens of Hong Kong, and also the worldwide. Okay. This is a KE funded. KE is knowledge exchange funded, provided by Hong Kong U. We are part of funding 2022. Okay. So the aims of it is because Hong Kong U did a website fight COVID-19 at the very early stage of the COVID-19 pandemic. But this project is an extension of it. We call it 2.0. Okay. Our design philosophy should be actually we have a vision or some kind that we like to promote, and we can let me show off Hong Kong U contribution during the pandemic. So to let everybody know that Hong Kong U colleagues, okay, people, we have done a lot of work during that time to resolve or to help to eradicate the pandemic issues. Okay, we, as a librarian, we always do records. Okay, just title, subject, day, something like that. But we don't think that this is a very good approach for general public because but we have to do something like this because we have to gather the record information from everywhere. But we would like to also do some stories telling so that general public, like a secondary school student or something like that, they would like to know more about what happened in Hong Kong U and in Hong Kong. Okay, but they don't want to search the record like Google. Okay, because I don't think they will be interested in this one. And we provide an archive services to store those records we collected. Okay. Later on, we will talk about why we will do so. And we would like the scope of the project will be open to all, as I mentioned before. This is a website. I hope that you have visited before. Okay, so I do not want to repeat the mission statement, and you can see that this is what our mission should be. And so far, we collected about 160 Hong Kong U departments, including in the archives, and 800 plus scholars, and also more than 11,000 records in there. Okay. And Jessica will do a quick walkthrough about the website so you will understand what it is, so that we can start talking about how we have done so. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Koo. So next us to browse our website. Okay. So in general, we aim to collect all our digital records in this archive, but not only just simply being a search engine, we also wish to include some stories in it, as what Dr. Koo mentions, because we want to be more interactive with some general publics, maybe even if the school, secondary school people can also easily to navigate through our website. Another core part is that we try to build up some HKU people profile here to show off their contributions, so that when, I know maybe some of you may be familiar with our Professor Yuen Kwok Yung. If you want to know about his contributions during this pandemic, you can definitely go through this website to know more about this. So maybe let's start to look into the search engine part first. Okay. Actually, I have developed some taxonomies so that to let people more easy to filter as well as to search our records. You can see, you can filter with Hong Kong U people. For example, you want to know more about Professor Yuen, and then you can see some relevant records shows here. Also, you can filter with maybe just news, media research papers, or some events that are relevant to Professor Yuen. You can also see this. For example, if you want to see some news here, you can show this. Other than that, you can search through the wave of COVID, like the first wave of COVID, second and fifth one. And normally, actually, the scholar make more contribution during the first wave, as what we have analyzed. And also some organizations, and you can even search through the keywords. Okay, so maybe let's take one of the record as an example. So maybe I filter through the media and see this record. See how does it look like. And in this record, you can see that, yeah, there's a media record, yeah, contributed by them. Yeah, you can see, we put some descriptions and text that related to this, this item, as well as date and relevant of COVID-19. Okay, maybe we go back to see some other records. Then other example of events. There's another talk that prepared by another Dr. Learn. Yeah. And as Dr. Koo mentioned that we actually is another digital archive system, because some of the website may be taken down. They may not exist a few years later. So how can we deal with it? We try to archive this. So by clicking here, yeah, actually this website can be preserved in this way. So other than the search engines, we also developed some stories to let people to know more about the collections, because I know that I want them to have more perspective in looking into it. Like we developed some maps to talk about the partnership with other universities when they deal with the research articles. Maybe I just take a few examples. If you're interested in this story, you can go through. And this one is one of the vaccine story, because you know that HKU has actually did some effort in building the vaccine. So we use our timeline.js, very good one to display the journey of developing the vaccine. Actually, the visualization part I will talk more about later. I generally want to navigate you guys to see any other features. Here's the people page, which we build up the people profile to showcase their effort. And when you click through here, you can see that we build a chart to display their contributions. And you can see actually how many records, or how many media coverage does the scholar have throughout these 3 years. Also, we have a gallery to put our videos here, because actually HKU has published lots of different media programs for educations. So, like the Ask of Hong Kong U on COVID-19, some professor here to answer the general public questions, and there are so many different programs that can let the general public to see through it. Last but not least, we also developed a chatbot, for people to query about the information inside this digital archive. So this is a very quick walkthrough of our website. So let's just go back to our slide. So after seeing our website, and I would like to say some challenges when we are building our digital archive, because as you guys know that we got a very tight time frame, which only for 6 months. And 6 months, we need to deal with so many records, so many stories that you can see here is quite a big challenge for us. And besides that, we got not many manpowers in doing this project. So our team, besides Dr. Koo and I, Terry, sitting behind, he support with our so many IT applications, and we have 2 more extra helpers in helping us to do the data validations. So with such limited manpower, we need to think of the way to how to automatic our workflow. And also we got so many different kinds of data types, diverse of data sources, like newspaper, research papers, so many different websites. They got different data structures. You need to deal with it. You need to think of the pipeline. So this is one of the challenges. And also the copyright issue, we need to deal with it. And very interested is that one of our scholar has one request to put his own interview audio with one of the, with RTHK actually, But actually, you know that this due some copyright issues, so we need to do some email back and right and forth to try to allow this to happen. And last challenges will be, what I've mentioned is that the web page, some of the web page will be taken down, so we need to cater with this. And so how do we do it? And this one of the, here is the overall picture of how our data process. First, we may locate some of the data sources, what we have on this website through web scraping. And then we put it into the OpenAI LLM services, because luckily Hong Kong U has subscribed with the Azure OpenAI, so that we can use this one as a very good tool for us to extract information, do some summary on the tests, as well as do some NER services. Then after we do all this, we need to put into our archive systems, as well as we use this analyzed data to build our chatbot, as well as to build up our story and other visualization tools. So our content management system is using a WordPress, as what you can see just now, the website is actually built by WordPress. It's a very nice one, because why we chose this? Because we don't need to type so many code. Yeah. Also, we actually don't have much time in doing the web page design work, especially the UI UX. So WordPress has some very nice plugin like Elementor, JupyterX. Then you can use so many nice templates to build your website. However, we discovered there are some advantages if we use WordPress. At that time, we start injecting more and more data into our WordPress. You start discovering that it becomes low and lagging because we got too much data in this. So in the end, we need to inject the data through the back end. Yeah, is that. So how do we actually collect our data? Majorly, we do this through web scraping, as what I said. One of the major sources of our news is Wise News. We get some title, text content, date, this kind of attributes from Wise News. Also, we get some from the government website because we want to get the government policy in building our timeline, which is one of our story. When we get this title, date, and publisher from the Wise News, actually, I also want to get the news source link. For example, if the news is from Mingpo, I want to get the exact link of Mingpo so that I can archive it or save the link, etc. So by doing this, I actually use it by the Google search engine. Yeah, but it's actually by writing some Python script. But actually, there's one of the challenges that you cannot keep on to request to Google, or else your IP will be blocked. So I advise everyone, if you are trying to do some web scraping on Google, you should not doing too frequent, and you need to set some random time, for doing this. Other than that, besides the news, for HKU, we also want to record the HKU event, which is organized by us. I get source from our press release, e-notice, or new visions, to get all the events. And some is getting from the faculty if they email to us that they want to also include that event into our archives. So we do this all with the web scraping. So generally, here's how we do. I mean, maybe some of you may know how to scrap it with Python, because Python is a very nice programming language that you can use many nice library like request, the HTML, and then you can use Beautiful Soup or Selenium in extracting some of the elements from the HTML, and then press it into some Python objects. Then you can store the data actually. But if you don't want to use code, actually for Chrome, they got some extension for you to scrap data, scrap data online. If the website have some very nice table format, actually you can use this kind of suggested Chrome extension like Data Miner or Web Scraper. Other than web scraping, we also get our data through the APIs. Like we get it from YouTube to collect the media. Other than that, for our research paper, we get our source. We get our informations from our HKU Scholar Hub, and use some Crossref or Scoopers or PubMed or other sources as extract input. What I want to get the abstract, subject, author, and this affiliation so that I can put inside my repository record. So here is some of the raw data that I get from a website And it's an example spreadsheet that how I put it in. But when you put it in, you need to have some metadata structures. So we kind of first design some schema which can generally apply to all different types of data, like news article, events, and etc. So normally you can see that title. This generally can be used by all means of the data type. And HKU people, because you can see that need to identify which HKU people actually own that record. Yeah. So having these data structures, and then we will put that into our WordPress system. Actually, WordPress is quite nice because they have one of very nice plugin called Jet Engine. They can let you to design the meta field or even the taxonomy, so that you nicely build here and then input your record in, then it will display nicely, just like what you can see in your website. This is how we do. As for the web archiving that you can see before, actually we use ArchiveBoss in doing that, because ArchiveBoss is a self-host web archiving system that can help us to kind of permanently preserve that web page, so that we can prevent one day it will take down from the site. And actually, ArchiveBoss can save so many different types of file type. You can save some web archive file, we can WARs, HTML, you can even save it as PDF, whatever. You can try to Google to search about this if you're interested. And then after you having this file, I need to display it to let the user to see it. So we use a Python Wayback Machine to replay this archive web material so that they can easily to see it online. Because if you just give the raw, give this file to the audience to see, to download, is no use. You definitely need to do it with a Wayback Machine to do so. So how do we process this data after we collect it? First, when we see our raw data, we can see that actually there are so many textual data here, like the news, articles, and even the transcript from the video and some web page. They're all text related. So how do we do it? We actually want to extract some titles. You can see here, put it here, and I need the people name, description, organization, and keyword. So when you get a newspaper, how do you extract this? For the very first beginning, before OpenAI release, we have tried some NLP method. And because quite a large amount of our material is Chinese language related, so we have to use some Chinese NLP, like HAN-LP. Before the release of OpenAI, we actually used this to extract some of our Chinese materials. But however, they actually got some text limit, just allow you to put 1,000 words per time. So actually it's not very convenient. But luckily, OpenAI LLM released in March. So we then employed this method in doing this information extraction. But when we talk about LLM, I want to talk about actually how does it actually work. We need to know that actually LLM is kind of a deep learning model. It's a type of the neural network architectures, which you got different layers, input layers, some hidden layers, and then output layers. And then this architecture can help you to train the LLM with a massive amount of data, so that it can learn about the meaning, learn about the correlations between the data. So in general, you can understand that LLM is actually a language that can easily to learn about patterns and relationship between the words. So that's why how it actually works is like when you see this picture, yeah. Like if you type a prompt, say I like, it will calculate the probability behind itself. Like, oh, maybe I got a 38% that this I like would be goes to you, and 25% would be in, and so and so. So the next one, of course, you may need to set some temperature or something. I guess some of you maybe play around this OpenAI tools before, like ChatGPT. Yeah. So this is how it works. It works by observing patterns and then probability, and then give us some answers. So basically, LLM is foundation. Is one of the foundation models that's trained with some unlabeled data, and then after training, you can use it with suitable adaptations by doing some prompt engineering or other ways. Then actually they can do so many tasks for you. Like you can do some text summarizations, do the information extraction, just what I mentioned before, image generations, chatbot, speech-to-text. And for this project, we have actually used some text summarization, information extraction, chatbot, and speech-to-text. Yeah. So this is the way how we process the data with the OpenAI LLM. We for the name and the organizations, we use an NER, which is the name entity relations to extract some entities from it. And we also put the full text into the LLM to help us to summarize it. But imagine if you need to process over 10,000 of data, if you do it by manpower, imagine who will do this work. So with LLM, it can be very easy to, maybe just a few seconds, they can give you a very nice, summarized text. Besides that, we also asked it to extract some of the keywords for us. So how does it actually work? We actually type some prompt command to ask ChatGPT to do so. Like for this example, I want to ask ChatGPT to extract people, organization, subjects, summaries in both traditional Chinese. Make sure you need to write traditional Chinese. If you don't write this, it will give you a simplified Chinese. You need to specify this. Yeah, and then in English. But normally, for many people, when they first time to do this prompt engineering, they may just write the first part of this. If you just write the first part, then they may output any result as they want. So it's very important for you to define a desired output format for me, because I want to facilitate my data pipeline. I requested to do it in a JSON format, but I suggest you to really literally write it how to do it, or else it will mess up your data, because I've tried many times. Yeah. So here is the sample output. You can see that it's really output as JSON format, so that I can first JSON object and then inject into my working spreadsheet, like this one. Yeah. If you do it messy, with so many, over 1,000 of data, you need to use many time to do data cleansing. Yeah. So defining a very nice output format is very important when you use ChatGPT. Yeah. So for YouTube videos, I guess Dr. Koo may have something to share.
Thank you. I just want to supplement some information. We use a lot of time to do word scraping. Okay. As a librarian, you all understand that we post a message to our users that excessive download is not allowed. But we dealt with this case by messaging our agent, okay, to grab the data from them without any warning message. Okay, so about YouTube video, okay, is it another data sources from YouTube? What we have done is to use a YouTube API to get the relevant videos. Okay, so we try. You can do so because every Gmail users can have. Remember, it should be 10,000 records per day. Okay, but however, you can see that we have to grab about 3 years data from them. I cannot make use of the quota, otherwise you cannot finish the process. So I wrote to Google to ask for more quota. So far I got about 1 million per day. Okay, so that I can use a lot of search terms to search a lot of things from them. And afterwards I can do some filtering or something. So this is one of two of the search query to search for Hong Kong U related during the pandemic. Okay, and okay, I got the video from YouTube. You know that the YouTube video got a number format, something like this. I got the ID. Okay, then I have to check if that video got the transcript already. Okay, so use another YouTube API to try to fetch if the transcript available. If so, then we grab the transcript from them so that we need not to proceed to the second steps. Why? Because most of the videos got no transcript. Okay, so because we have to catalog this video. Okay, in the past we have to ask cataloger to watch the video. Okay, and do the transcription. Also to do some description. So it's time consuming, and we got no manpower to do so. So we have to make use of some technologies. So we use. You can see that we use the first of all the video. Okay, the video, and we have to first extract the audio from the video first. Okay, this should be a simple Python script. Can do a batch processing, and after we take all the audio files, and we will make use of the Microsoft Azure speech to text services. Okay, so this is the paid services. Okay, Hong Kong U subscribe to Azure, and the cost is not that high. I remember about a few less than $1 per video, maybe less than that. Okay, because the bill will go to ITS, my boss, so I don't know. okay. Anyway, after that we have extract the transcript from the video. Then we can put it in the Excel file Jessica showed before, so that we can normalize all the data in the one worksheet. Okay, and luckily this service, Azure service, it can detect the language automatically. We need not to listen to, oh, this is Cantonese, this is English, and specify using English detection, recognition, something. It can detect it. Okay, so it's very nice.
Okay. Let me talk about how do we deal with some research articles. Yeah, because dealing with research articles is one of the quite headache issue. As I've mentioned before, HKU has a Scholar Hub to store all the HKU Scholar related articles, but it may not be included everything. Yeah, so we need to get some other sources like Scopus or PubMed. Oops, sorry. Yeah, for the author is quite challenging because initially we just want to displace the HKU related people here. So maybe I just want to display Dr. To or Dr. Hong here. But some of the scholars reflect to us is that actually there are other non-HKU people also contribute to this article paper, and they also want to acknowledge their effort. So that's why we have to include this non-HKU scholar, and we need to identify them. So that's why we need to collect information from the Scoopers and PubMed and other sources to get their affiliations, and need to identify them well. Also, actually not all our scholars are included in our hub, because for some of our PhD students, they also contribute into this article, but they're actually don't have a profile inside our Scholar Hub. So that's why we need to identify it, yeah. And another difficulty is that we also need to do some name normalizations, because they may display different names in different platforms, like they use different initials in displaying their name. So that's why I have to, do some develop some authority table and do name normalizations with this. For some HKU department, we also want to display, we get the affiliations and abstract. We get the information from the Scoopers API or PubMed. And as for the for the APA citations, there's one of very nice API, maybe some of you have heard before, is the CiteS. If you want to make an APA format, you can just put your DOI in it, and then they can generate you, this citation for you. So it's quite a lot of challenge throughout this when processing data. And the first challenges is that we actually need to validate this more than 10,000 records, because when we scrap along our news, because so many records, because we just type some keywords like HKU, COVID-19, and Hong Kong Dai Hall, or the University of Hong Kong, and then it's these keywords into the website, and then we scrap it. And then we discover that there are so many irrelevant with the HKU contributions. So we actually need to employ some extra manpowers in doing this validation for us. As well as the second challenge is that names. There are different names, different organizations. Different variants about the scholar names and organizations. For example, you can see Yun Kwok Yung already have so many different variants here, like Yun Kwok Yung, Yun-Kwok Yung. So many librarians also encounter with this problem with so many different variants of this. Like even our School of Public Health, they also have so many different abbreviations, because the LLM is just simply extract terms from the full text. So what we have to do is we need to do extra work on developing the authority list. By doing so how do I actually do this big task is that I go through with I use OpenRefine, the reconciliations functions, to try to match the terms, get them back together. Like I can get all these three terms is actually related to one people. Then I group them together and etc. And also I do it with the Python, do some fuzzy matching to find this approximate string matching. To try to match them data. But this kind of method can actually help you to do around 70 to 80%. You still need some effort to do some validation, to do some human validation by yourself. So this one of the examples that you can see was School of Public Health. There are so many different abbreviations used by the public media. So how can you get this is one of the challenges we are facing with. Another challenge, as I've mentioned before, you need to specify a very good output format when you use LLM, or else you will affect your data ingestion progress, which is highly dependent on Chrome. But I've showed this before. So some of the recommendation I think for the best practice in writing the Chrome is that you better put your instructions, some key instruction clearly first, like extract, tell them it's doing extract, and better include the text content that you want it to deal with. And your direction needs to be more descriptive, try to be as detailed as possible. And then, if you can, you need to include the output format so that it will mess up your data ingestions. And if possible, I suggest you to write a few examples, and we call that as few short example. Maybe some of you have heard about zero short example and few short example. Zero short, this means that you don't provide any example for the GPT and let it to free flow. I mean, just follow your prompt command and do whatever you want, try to extract it. But if you want it to be more precise in generating the desired output, I suggest you to give a few examples. I didn't write that kind of prompt here, but you can actually say, give it an example on how does it really to extract the company name, yeah, or people name, exactly what it wants. So then GPT can generate very nice output. I mean, relative nice output for you to use. Yeah, and the fourth challenge we encountered is, as I mentioned to you guys, that I actually want to extract some keywords from some of the food test data. But you know that it just simply extract. So you can see there are so many variants, so many similar keywords here. Aerosol, respiratory aerosol. Actually, they are all describing one thing, is aerosol. AI technology, they're very similar. So what's the point if I'm not grouping these similar keywords? So how I think of ways to do is I try to do some clustering work here. Maybe some of you have heard about K-means if you have studied statistics before. Yeah, this is one of the ways that can help you to do the clustering. Can you see that? For example, my data got this three. Actually, they are meaning the same. Also for here, these three words, they're carrying the same meaning. By applying a K-means clustering method, if you're willing to write some coding, actually it's not really too difficult to do so. I can generally talk about some of the methodology. Sorry, it's a little bit small, but in general, it's that first you need to prepare your data well. Make sure that your data is clean, because you know that for some machine learning, supervised or even unsupervised learning, garbage in, garbage out. So make sure that your data is clean, yeah. And then I put this clean data to do some work embeddings, because work embeddings can allow to search some can carry some semantic meanings and relations behind the words. So that's why I convert this word into as word embeddings, which is try to break down it into a chunk of numerous data that can be understood by the computer. Then, what I want is to do clustering. So how many clustering groups that I need to define? Some mathematical method, maybe, yeah, some like elbow method or some other mass model can help you to identify how many numbers of cluster you have to set. Then you can apply the K-means clustering, like some scikit-learn, in Python library that you can actually apply with it, and then you can get some results of that. But in between, of course, you need to refine and iterate and try to change the relevant parameters when doing this unsupervised machine learning. But actually, the result is, I can say that is fair, because they may not be very nice, but at least they can help. I mean, this computer can help you to do a very big part of work instead you need to go, because at that time I got nearly around 10,000 of keywords extracted from ChatGPT. So I know that I can't input all this data into my database. So that's why I need to really cluster them to extract the keywords, yeah, and place it here. So you guys may try this way. So after we have cleansed our data, input our data into our repository, one way is that we want to visualize it. So for the research part, maybe Dr. Koo.
A little bit over one, so I will make it quick. So this part will deal with the data science part. Okay, we extract all the research paper from our PubMed Scholar Hub, okay, and then we use the Scopus API to extract all the information from them, okay. Here is one of the visualization web page. That is, we would like to find the partnership with Hong Kong U. You can see that we have a number of partners during that pandemic period, and we use the different visualization to show off the collaboration with different parties. So the way we do it is download and extract the affiliation of the researchers from Scopus Search API, and use the Google Map geocoding API to get the coordinates of that organization. Okay, because we are target of the organizations. Okay, and reconcile the coordinates against also the country codes. Okay, not only the organization, also the country, and use data analytic methods to find the relationship among all the data. Okay. Here is one of the examples. You can see that the affiliation ID is from Scopus, and the name affiliation, and we add on the coordinates and the number of counts that collaborate, to how many times we collaborate. And here, you can see that we add also the ISO code here, the country code, okay, so that we can, without the country code, we cannot build this tree map, okay, the country based, okay. Okay, another visual chart is the worldwide influence of Hong Kong U COVID-19 research. You can see from this map, you can see that the size and the color of the bubble shows that how many times this organization refer to our Hong Kong researchers' research output. Okay, so that means that when the dot is here, that is someone in that organization have cited a Hong Kong U research paper. Okay. Also, they use a Google Search API to download the affiliation, something like this, and also use the Google Map geocoding API to get the data. However, missing some pages. Okay, one pop issue was that the Scopus API give dirty data, particularly for the organization. Sometimes it just say LTD, limited, without any the full name of the organization. We cannot use the LTD to send a search query to Google API because there's nothing returned. So about 2 to 3% of the data is zero hit, so we cannot put it on the map. Okay, and of course we can ask someone to read the paper and find the original affiliation and to do search here manually, but we did not do so. Okay, so Scopus, I report to Scopus, but they did not respond. Okay.
This is the timeline that we have. We built a quite interactive one, a 3D timeline, to try to showcase what actually HKU done in the midst of COVID-19. We compare it with the Hong Kong actual COVID-19 events, the Hong Kong U policy actions, as well as some of the community service that we have do this. So for the government events, we actually get the source from the governmentnews.com, to get the relevant information to build this timeline. We actually select the most relevant one in building this. Okay, So this is the data that we get from the government website. So we just input it and then, and then build a timeline with some of the plugin that we purchase. And another story is that we have records some of our scholars that visiting the neighborhood among the pandemics, because some of our scholars, like again, Dr. Yun Hot Yong, always get into the neighborhood when there is one outbreak. And we found that this story is quite interesting. You can actually click, if you're interested, you can click into a stories to navigate through his pathway. Actually, he has made around more than 60 to 70s, visits to our neighborhood when there is some outbreaks during our community. Last but not least, this is our chatbot that is actually powered by our LLM to let the people to query. But don't know that if you are interested in knowing how we actually do our chatbot, is kind of like the RAG method. But due to the time limit, I'm not going to talk about these technical terms. So I pass the moment to Dr. Ku again.
Now get to the last section of the presentation. So you can see that we have used some lot of the AI technologies, but also data science technologies to do the project in 6 months' time. So how do we cope with the future challenges in the future about AI? Why? According to our experience, that what did the AI facilitate our development? You can see, because we have more than 10,000 records. If we use to recruit a group of people to do so, we cannot fulfill the time constraint. Okay, so our approach is that why not we use the term co-pilot? Okay, so we can use the AI to how to do the part of the cataloging job, like summary, extraction, subject cataloging or something like this. Okay, to help it. And however, don't worry, I'm not going to say that AI will replace librarians or humans, because you can see from the picture, we still need human to verify the content. Okay, we cannot rely on the pure AI. Okay, so this is our experience, but the time frame can be reduced in some way. Okay. So we learned that so far is that we can use an LLM, something like ChatGPT, to do summarization, to do cataloging, NER, to find the NER entity, okay, to the relationship. This is very good, particularly for GPT-4. Okay, GPT-4. Okay, but remember, LLM is weak at knowledge. The LLM, ChatGPT, got no knowledge at all. Okay, and the LLM does not know the context, understand. They don't know what is going on. Okay, they just give you some based on some input and generate some output for you. Okay, and for authority record, librarian, master in authority record. Okay, so but the LLM cannot do so. Okay, for example, I use a prompt engineer, and I would like to this article. Can you give me LC subject heading? Okay, no, sorry. Maybe they will give you some LC subject heading unlike information, but it's not combined to LC. Okay. Similarly, we try to do the Wikidata properties, but they will make up some new Wikidata properties to you. That is, you have to fact check. Once I have to fact check, I need not to use LLM anymore. Okay. So, certainty, because we understand that the ChatGPT got heuristic. They always make up some new stories for you. You cannot rely on it. Okay. So this is the weak point of using the LLM. Okay. So Are librarians at risk of losing their jobs? This picture was generated by Dell version 3, Microsoft, okay, not my drawing, okay. Quite okay. So my answer is no, not, okay. And remember that the LLM right now is just a lovely parent. They just learn something from the master, the humans, and try to pretend as a human to say something to you. They got no knowledge to fact check something like that, some existing knowledge, okay? Okay, so this is very important because as a librarian, we have to give an exact, accurate answer to our users. Okay, if we are not sure about the answer, then we have to think about how to use it. But I'm not saying that you don't use ChatGPT, but some areas ChatGPT can work very well, as I mentioned before. Okay. And why human is still important? This is one of the story from Times, and you can see that OpenAI user can earn workers, okay, per hour, $2 per hour to make ChatGPT less toxic. Okay, something like that. That's it. We are not that mean. We hire our helper, $69 Hong Kong dollar per hour, okay, to verify the contents extracted by ChatGPT, okay. And the New York Times, AI is a lot of work. This is the inside the AI factory. You can see that they have to hire someone to teach the AI to do something, okay. And some example for you, what we can use AI in library. Here are some examples. I have included a website for your reference so you can have a look. This is a summary of that area that we can make use of AI. And this website got some description and details about this. So for example, you can enhance searching. For example, Alma Primo, Alma Exhibits got these features soon, okay? And personalization, recommendation, analysis, chatbots, okay? Data analytics, collection development, something like this. You can make use of AI to do so, okay? I would like to mention that AI means a general AI, not just ChatGPT. And some new developments about the knowledge graph. ChatGPT mentioned the RAG for the chatbot, but it proven that this is not accurate and not good enough. Nowadays, we use knowledge graph to enhance the chatbot performance. What is knowledge graph? Linked data, big frame, this kind of area. So that who master this kind of linked data, librarian. Okay, that means that we are on the very forefront to help to improve the AI, to make the services better. Okay? So what we learn from librarianship can be used to improve the AI or improve the productivity of our libraries. And you can see British Library on Huntington. Huntington is a website to collect all the AI development tools. And British Library have an area on that to do, you can see that they have published a genre classification to classify the book, okay. So this is one of the start projects from them. Okay, the last slide. So we have to think about the mindset. Do we want to deny AI, or we are panicked? I'm losing my job, okay? Or we make use of the AI to do something great, easier, productivity increase. So this is up to your choice, okay? I recommend this YouTube video, quite interesting. So I just borrowed one of the picture of them. And this is New York Times. AI is good, but sometimes AI may not help you, but make the thing even worse. You can see that, okay? So this is funny cover page. Okay, so this is the end of our presentation. I would like to say an acknowledgement of our helper, particularly to our consultant, Professor Ying Chen, okay, for her guidance of the project. Okay. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Koo and Jessica. Do you have any question for Dr. Koo and Jessica?
English or Cantonese or 普通话 OK。
If not, then I would like to ask you a question. For all of us who have been using ChatGPT before, we all know that ChatGPT charge. Nearly every sentence you enter into ChatGPT charge us. Now your database, you're talking about 11,000 records. That's I could consider 11,000 articles or videos. How much that you end up paying them?
Okay. Good question. Actually, I don't have the bill so far. I can check the bill online, but when the first week we try to use ChatGPT, we are very concerned about the cost. So far, I remember in the first week we spent less than 20 Hong Kong dollars. Okay, for about half of the records. Okay, because the article, for example, a news article, this is about maybe 200 or 300 tokens, something like that. So this is not that costly. Okay, and nowadays we try to use some open source LLM, not only rely on ChatGPT. Okay, so this is the trend. But because the bill is go to our admin office, so I don't care. But actually, the cost is not that high. Otherwise, they will bombard me to pay from my salary. But anyway, our project has funding to pay.
Any question? Yes.
Hello.
I can imagine it's a lot of work on the data collection and data cleaning part. And I also have a question on the chatbot. I was curious about how are you using the Azure OpenAI Studio to import the data, or using the API key and integrate other LLM models to import their own data? And also, I'm also curious about there is a risk of prompt injection that people may can manipulate the answer, the chatbot behavior of answering the question. Do you have any setting or configuration to avoid this kind of situation?
Okay, thank you. May I pass this question to Terry, who helped us to do the chatbot? He is our honorary secretary.
Hello. Actually, we use the API to create some augmenting, and integrate with some popular Python library to have you about nature. We use that library to create augmenting and also to build the chatbot interface. About the question about others will modify we need the AI to answer some wrong answers by some wrong questions or wrong the rules. We require a very strict system prompt to control the chatbot to answer the user.
He helped us to build the chatbot. So, yeah, thank you.
So, any other question? Uh, 中文都得㗎，佢哋聽得明中文㗎。All right, if no other questions, so once again, we give them a big applause to Dr. KU and Jessica. And we hope to see you in our next event. Remember, we are going to Lingnan University in March. I think March 23rd, the Saturday. And we're still planning that we may go to Guangzhou in April. I'll see you there.
Thank you.
So,